Welcome to Skovde for the Grand Prix of Sweden, round 4 of the 2023 Pedro Duarte FIM EnduroGP World Championship. The paddock returns to the host city in the country's southern lake region 2 years after a very exciting 2021 edition. Last week in round 3 at the GP of Finland, Frenchmen seems to be in unstoppable form after the super test and a very muddy stage 1. However, Josep Garcia finally puts an end to the Brits' winning streak with a hard-fought victory on Sunday. Arriving in Sweden, Frenchmen has a solid lead over Garcia and Holcombe still tied for second, with reigning champ Verona off the pace in 4th. On Thursday in the paddock, the team tents are bustling and the riders are all smiles as they prepare for another round of racing here in Scandinavia. Junior and local favorite Max Ahlin is ready to go.
I'm expecting a fun weekend. Hope for a lot of friends to come look the race. The special test looks quite fast and quite easy, but I think it would be a good race and a cup race.
Open 4-stroke leader Alejandro Ceballos Escalera is ready for more of the Scandinavian conditions like in the last round.
So I hope it will be fast again like last week in Finland. For sure we will try and we will fight all the day.
As for the Swedish fans, they're fired up and ready to go.
Hello everybody, we are here in Sweden for the second GP of the Scandinavian round, the 4th GP of the season, GP of Sweden. We left the mud in Finland and we have the good weather here with a lot of dust. Come with me for see the track preview.
After a quick warm-up in the extreme test immediately after the starts, riders joined the Just One Enduro test. A long full sandy test, some jumps, many bumps, sometimes look riding in a pump truck. Good legs are needed for ride here, almost 10 minutes, full gas. Not a long rest and riders will face the second enduro test planned in this race, the Cross Pro enduro test. Another long test that start and finish in a hardpack grass field. But in the middle there are sections with deep sand and rocks, and 2 spectacular concrete ramps to jump. The Acervis cross test is in a huge grass field. The soil is hardpack in the first layer, but sandy in the bottom, so shaped bumps are expected. The test is not so wide and keeping the flow from the start to the finish will be not easy. The Polysport Extreme test will be ride immediately after the start and it will be the last test of the day, just before the finish. It's not so long. It includes the part of the super test with some artificial obstacle and a technical part in the wood.
So this is what the rider will face on Friday and Saturday. Bump and dust. Come to Skovde to enjoy the race.
Come Thursday afternoon, all thoughts turn to the Akrapovic Super Test that kicks off the fourth round in a few hours' time.
Hej allihopa, välkomna till EnduroGP Skovde. Nej, satan! I have to do this in English. Hi guys, welcome to EnduroGP of Skovde. It's really nice to do a home GP. Can't wait for the race, really.
The organizers from the FMCK Skovde have put together a very tricky course. It's a mix of man-made and natural obstacles that make it easy to mess up, but also allow the top riders to go full gas and finish within hundredths of a second of each other.
Yeah, track looks good. We're obviously, it's getting chewed up quite a lot. There haven't been that many riders through, honestly, but it's going to be gnarly.
As the sun sets over Skovde, the conditions on the track are still pretty sketchy, but actually improve with the earlier categories, digging the ruts for the top EnduroGP riders to follow. Akrapovic Super Test standings leader Brad Freeman takes his second series win in a row. Josep Garcia is second, just 26 hundredths of a second behind Freeman. And Steve Holcombe comes third, just 0.3 of a second behind Garcia.
I mean, it's amazing to see all these people here cheering for me, and I absolutely enjoy it, but also sometimes you put some more focus on that instead of riding, which I just did in the Super Test, so it was a bit everywhere. But anyway, I started off without staying on the ground, so I'm happy about that, and yeah, let's move on to tomorrow.
The opening day of competition at round 4 of the Paulo Duarte FIM EnduroGP World Championship is much drier than the week before in Heinola, Finland. But the battle on the track in Skovde, Sweden is just as intense, especially between Freeman and Garcia, with Holcombe and Watson constantly challenging from behind.
Well, the race today, the fight at the top is so tight. We are fighting all day in less than 3 seconds. Last lap I was able to pass Brad and open a small gap, but we need to stay focused, we need to push hard because we are all closed. So
The added twist of having 2 enduro tests this round pushes the riders' physical fitness and concentration to the limit. On day 1, it also keeps the suspense cranked up until the final test of the last lap. In the end, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Josep Garcia takes the top spot for the second stage in a row, beating the next best rider across the final timing beam by 8.86 seconds. Beta Factory Racing's Brad Freeman trades test with Garcia from the get-go, but just can't match the Spaniard when it counts. Multiple world champion Steve Holcombe can only manage 1 test win and 3rd place overall on the day. Honda Red Moto's Nathan Watson comes through with his best result of the season on day 1 in Skovde. Here's the final results tally from stage 1 of the Grand Prix of Sweden. Now, let's take a closer look at the performances of today's EnduroGP Top 10. And that's it for the action from day 1.
Yeah, before the log. In the left. Yeah.
In 1st place, from Spain, Josep Garcia, KTM. And now we're going to listen to the national anthem of Spain.
Yeah, today it was a tough race because we had like an hour and a half of special tests and of course 6 hours on the bike. And we finished out of 10 seconds. It was a tight fight during all the day. Really happy to be here again, and tomorrow for sure will be a new day again. Start from 0, so need to stay focused and push like today. And for sure that jam is so good. Also the public, the fans are there cheering, so need to make a good show for them also.
In Enduro Open World Cup racing, there are no surprising performances from unknown local talents this week, with established riders Jiri Haddock, Alejandro Ceballos Escalera, Enzo Marshall, and Werner Muller topping the timesheets in their respective classes. After round 4, Cyril Renaud maintains his lead in the Open two-stroke standings over the Czech Republic's Jiri Haddock and Robert Friedrich. Alejandro Ceballos Escalera still sits atop the Open four-stroke class in front of Enzo Marshall and Robin Wiss. And Andrea Bellotti clings on to his lead in Open Senior over Werner Muller and Patrick Anderson.
And the class leader from France, Cyril.
The race for the top spots on the Enduro Open podiums becomes clearer as the World Cup passes the season's halfway point.
KTM.
After a rough and tumble day one, the riders are prepared for even tougher conditions on day two. Josep Garcia looks in victorious form on his KTM in the first lap, but the Spaniard goes down hard, leaving the door wide open for the Beta Brits to fight for the win on day two and to finally see a new face on the podium in EnduroGP.
Last lap, feeling is good. Sometimes you feel good and you have a bad time, sometimes you feel bad and you have a good time, so it's tricky conditions this, so forward to having a good last lap.
After Garcia's misfortune, Freeman fires into the lead, but Holcombe handles the ruts like the veteran he is, holding off the rest of the pack while waiting for the opportunity to make a move on his Beta Factory teammate and challenge for the win. A small mistake from Freeman is all Steve Holcombe needs to steer his 350 Beta to the first stage win since 2020 for the three-time EGP World Champ. Brad Freeman has to settle for second after losing almost 20 seconds to Holcombe in the last Cross Pro Enduro test. Nathan Watson caps off his best round of the year with a third place in EnduroGP. Andrea Verona goes back and forth with Watson all day, but comes up 3.74 seconds short of the Brit in fourth place on the second day. These are the final results from Stage 2 at the Grand Prix of Sweden. And now, let's see what the riding looks like from Saturday's EnduroGP Top 10 and Josep Garcia before his crash.
in first place. Also from Great Britain, Steve Holcombe, Beta.
Yeah, I feel really good. It's been a long time since I've won an overall. Yeah, looking forward to trying to keep this momentum going into Slovakia, and then obviously we have the summer break, and yeah, keep building for Portugal. Yeah, unfortunately we lost Josep today, obviously crashing out, which is never good. But yeah, you know, me and Brad are still kind of in there fighting with each other, so yeah, it's good.
In round 3 of the Magna Range FIM Women's Enduro World Championship, Great Britain's Jane Daniels continues dominating the class on her Fantic. The best of the rest, Gardner and Rowett, are now relegated to fighting for second place in the year-end standings. It's Daniels, Gardner, and Rowett in the women's top 3 after the Scandinavian leg.
And the leader is Jen Daniels, Great Britain and Fantic.
I'm really happy. We're 3/4 of the way through the season with only 1 round left. 6 out of 6 wins so far, so maximum points. I'm really happy. I definitely need to up my game for the final round to hopefully have 2 more wins and another perfect season.
In youth enduro, Kevin Cristino tops the timesheets for the 4th consecutive round, while Léo Joyon and Thibault Giraudon swap 2nd and 3rd places for the 2nd weekend in a row. Enduro standings remain the same after Sweden, with Italy's Cristino in front of Frenchmen Giraudon and Joyon.
The leader is Kevin Cristino from Italy, Fantic.
Yeah, I did a really good start of season. I'm so happy about this because all day I try to attack and I win all day, so I'm very happy about this. Sometimes with small gap like nothing, and sometimes with good gap. So now we need to do the best for ending the season on the best way.
In the Galfer Junior Enduro World Championship, the Swedish contingent of Norrbin, Ahlin and Sem makes the hometown fans proud, occupying 5 of the 6 podium places on the weekend, with Max Ahlin and Albin Norrbin claiming victory for the host nation respectively on day 1 and day 2. Jed Etchells hangs onto the Junior Enduro lead, while Albin Norrbin moves into 2nd and Jeremy Sado falls to 3rd.
Jed Etchells from Great Britain, Fantic rider.
It's turning out to be a fantastic season for Fantic Racing, with their team riders at the top of the women's, junior, and youth enduro class standings.
It's been an incredible weekend here for me, except the issues on Friday. It's been a really special weekend with really good riding, and the crowd has just been amazing, so really happy.
In EnduroGP, Freeman is still the clear favorite, with Holcombe overtaking Garcia in 2nd.
And the leader from Great Britain, Brad Freeman.
And it's not just the riders fighting for points at each Grand Prix, but the teams too. The Beta Factory increases its lead in the manufacturer standings, with KTM and GasGas holding steady in 2nd and 3rd. It's been a hot, hard-hitting Grand Prix of Sweden, full of surprises and standout performances from riders in every class and category. Next up, we'll see you in Gelnica, Slovakia for round 5 of the Polo Duarte FIM EnduroGP World Championship.